guys, it's me Narelle here, and welcome back to a new video. This video is actually going to be a tutorial video on how I color with the beloved thing called colored pencils. This actually was a request from one of you guys, and I'm really not the type of person to do tutorial videos because half of the time I don't understand what I'm doing. But if you guys really want to know, I shall fulfill every one of your desires. So I actually use mainly the Crayola colored pencils because they're just awesome. I love them. I live for them. I like smelling them every day. And it's just something about these colored pencils that I just love. And yes, I have used a lot of different brands, but Crayola just satisfies me. So I'm going to go ahead and get into my little thoughts and advice on how to use color pencil. So hopefully I can explain myself well enough for you guys to understand, and if you guys like the way I do it, let me know in the comment box below. So let's get started to step one. Alrighty, so step one is your paper. Normally, I do not pay attention to things like this because honestly, you can use colored pencil on any type of paper, but I feel like if you use paper that is actually textured, it works really well. This is actually a new cardstock that I got a while ago, and I've just been testing it out with different mediums. And honestly, I really love this for colored pencil. It works really nice with watercolor, and it works well with markers. So this cardstock is just amazing in 3 different areas, but for colored pencil, it's really nice. It has a fine tooth on it, and I feel like that helps it blend a lot better on this paper. But if you guys have a sketchbook like the Canson Mixed Media sketchbook, this works really well with colored pencil as well. Alright, so step 2, when I actually go into coloring with something with colored pencil, I normally don't do this with marker or watercolor because I can just eyeball it and we're Gucci, but with colored pencil I do make swatch cards because colored pencil is one of that medium that you can look at the pencil and be like, oh, the color is going to look like this, but the color turns out a lot different. So I always like having a little color swatch so I can see, hey, that's the color I put down first, second, and last, so on and so forth. So like I said, you don't have to do this, but this really helps me a lot. Okay, and another fact that I really don't think people mention, but liners. I would say liners matter, but liners really don't matter with colored pencil because the more you layer, the more your lines are going to get kind of foggy, if I can give that description. So just know when you actually do color with colored pencils, you may have to reline some of your line work. So liners really don't matter at the end of the day because they're going to get covered up, but make sure you have a liner that can be easily going over when stuff is over it, so it doesn't get like messy and waxy. So that's a little tip that I can give. That's not really important, but I just thought I'd say it, so yeah. Alright, and the last thing, and the most important thing, make a drawing! So for this video, my guinea pig is going to be my Honey Bunches of Oats, which is Min Yoongi, or Suga from BTS. I am so sorry. I just thought Suga would be like the perfect person for this video. Not because of his color schemes, I just really wanted to draw Suga, and I'm like, this is just going to be my excuse to draw Suga, and yeah. So if you guys are like Narelle BTS again, I'm sorry. I just wanted to draw my Min Yoongi. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to start off with the skin first. So my skin colors is Unmellow Yellow, Apricot, Peach, Cantaloupe, and Tan. Like I go with my markers, I always assign a light shade, darkest shade, and then I add in extra colors that can help improve the skin. So you can tell my extra colors is Unmellow Yellow and Tan. This is just to get the skin to get darker. And Unmellow Yellow, I find that every person needs a little bit of yellow in their skin, and you can easily go over it with the peach so it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. And I made sure to sharpen my pencils, so do that before you color because unsharpening your pencils is just going to be a trick and a half that you guys just don't want to work with. So I actually am going to put the color down very lightly. A lot of people think you have to press really hard with colored colored pencil to get the effect. But if you guys actually just go about it in a very light way, your hands will not hurt, because colored pencil does hurt your hands if you do press hard. But again, you can build up your layers when you just go lightly. I'm gonna try to do a little bit of this in real time, but I can't promise you that, because this video is going to be like an hour long, because normally if I talk and draw while doing videos like this, I tend to, you know, take more time to get through areas, but apparently I'm going fast through it. So again, if you guys do not use colored pencils on a daily, this may look like a long overdrawn process because I have so many different colors. But again, once you kind of get very much so accustomed to colored pencils, this really isn't a hard thing at all. So yeah, so just have fun with this, and your day would be so much more better than you being like, oh my gosh, my hand hurts. Alrighty guys, so I finished the skin base off camera, as you can see. So always have apricot accessible, because this is going to be the color you go over your other colors with to blend them out. So please remember to keep this color. So next you're going to take your darker color, which is going to be peach. Like on the swatch sheet, peach is the next darkest color. And this color you want to press a little bit harder, because you really want that color to stand out. So like any other drawing, you kind of pick which side of the face is going to be darker and what side of the face is going to be lighter. I don't play around with light values, so I just kind of eyeball it the way I want to eyeball it. So if you guys are like, Narelle, you need to get better at that, I'm sorry. I'm sorry at the end of the day. So I'm just going to go ahead and get to coloring this darker. Most of the time when you use a new medium, it's easier to go about it like you use any other medium, because I do this with marker as well. Like, it's nothing new, it's just you getting used to the technique itself. So yeah, so I am adding a little bit more pressure so you can see the color a lot more visible. So just keep on adding your layers in the areas in which you want to add it. It is always helpful to change, to, you know, move your paper around so you're not coloring in like one way, because it is, you know, kind of hard to get the flow of the lines that you want. Alright, so that's enough for the second darkest color. And like I said with apricot, I'm going to go back over this with apricot to kind of blend it out so it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. So I'm going to go ahead and go over it just to kind of blend it out. And you can use more pressure on this, because if you use more pressure, it helps blend the colors out a lot more. So I'm just adding a little bit more pressure to kind of help that color blend out. And honestly, I have so much fun doing this. I'm like, oh, it's coming together, yay. Alright, so that is enough with blending out that color, and the process is legit the same. You just keep layering on your colors to get that blend effect. So I'm going to use the next darkest shade, and then I'll do the rest off camera. So I won't take so long coloring just one area. So the next shade, which I gotta sharpen right quick, is going to be Cantaloupe, and I gotta sharpen it, so hold on. Alright, Cantaloupe is all sharpened. So this is the darkest peach that you'll have. The trick is, do not add the darkest color all over this. Just add the darkest color halfway so you still can have that gradient. So you're not covering up all the colors that you just put down, because it's annoying. So I will take it like halfway to the second darkest shade and just kind of not overload it with this dark color. I recommend this with any medium I use specifically, because you still want to have your gradient. You don't want to sit there and cover it up, if you kind of get what I'm saying. You still want to have that nice like I said, gradient, so when you blend all the colors out, you can still see the other ones under it. And you can see that since these are like peaches, all peaches, you're going to need another color to pop the skin out, which is why I told you guys in the beginning to get like a brown shade, because if you just do all peaches, it's going to look cute, but you're really not going to see the differences in shading unless you use an actual dark color to pop out his skin. So now I'm going to use my brown color to add in all the darker hues that will help this pop out. And then I will add my unmellow yellow, which is right here, to add the yellow tones in the skin. But I will do that off camera and I'll come back with the final skin result, because again, I don't want to spend so much time on the skin itself. So I will see you when I finish coloring the whole skin. Alrighty guys, so I'm done with the skin. Again, I think I need to add another darker color to kind of pop off the lighter colors. So I'm going to see if I can put it closer to my camera, because I don't think you can see it. But yeah, so that's the effect I want the skin to have for now. So now we're going to move on to his headband. Alright, so for his headband, here's my swatch card. So the first color I am going to put down is Timberwolf, which is this really pretty light gray. And I use the same technique, guys. Put down the base color, add in the shade, add in the darker shade, and add in darker shades as see fit. So everything is legit the same technique. It's just done on different parts of the person. I'm going to add my second dark shade, which is gray. Which is gray. So for clothing, I tend to highlight the folds. I make sure to have these the darkest parts and then blend them out. So for the creases, I'll make sure to darken up the color and then come out, so I won't, you know, do everything dark. I can make it just fade out. The easiest way to color clothing is, if the hair or if another part of the body is over it, make a shadow so you know it's popping out, if that makes any lick of sense. So I'm going to highlight the shadows first, and then I can color out, you know, the lighter hues, because what you're highlighting in clothing is the shadows, the folds, the creases. You're not really worrying about the other stuff. Alrighty, so I'm done with the second, well, not the second, this is the first shade. The first one was the base color, so I'm done with the first shade. So like the skin, I'm going to go over the first shade with the base color so I can blend it out a little bit more. So now I'm going to go to the second shade of the headband. So again, I'm going to do the same thing I did with the first shade, which is to go over your shadows, which is your folds and your creases, and where the hair lays down, and then gradate it out. But like I said, with the darker shade, you don't want to take over the first shade you put down. You just want to put it over slightly, so you know the shadow is there, but you know, it's not there at the same time. If you kind of get what I'm saying. I feel like I'm not making any sense to you guys whatsoever, but I hope I'm making somewhat sense. All right, and the last step for the headband is you add the black, which I try to stay away from. Try not to use black, guys, because it is a harsher tone, so I would use it in the darker parts that need to be dark and just kind of go over the whole headband with the black lightly so you still have the shine going through. Alright, so I'm done with the headband. So now we're moving on to the hair. I feel like a lot of you guys like how I color hair. I'm just like, I don't understand why, but you know, I'm just gonna get started with the hair. So anyways, with the hair, it's actually very weird because I do not do hair with the base shade over shade. I don't do that. With the hair, I go about it when I do my marker work. I lay down my first shade, my second shade, and then go back over those with my lighter shade. So yeah, it's very, very simple how I do hair. Again, just find your shadows and get those done first, and then you do your lighter gradients, because again, it makes it easier for you guys at the end of the day. And with hair, it's easier to go when you turn your paper upside down, because you can easily get the little curves and the grooves that you want to get with the hair. I don't know why this pencil is not sharpened. So why I color the hair, I'm just going to talk to you guys. So I just really hope my tutorial helps you guys, because I want everyone to succeed at the end of the day. I want people to feel confident about their artwork. I know when you first start doing art, when you don't have your own little thing of coloring hair, all that stuff, it makes you very anxious, because you're just like, how can I make my stuff look cool? Which is what I totally was like when I was starting off art. I tend to copy other people's ways of doing things, and I'm like, if I do this, my art will look nice, because I viewed their art as nice looking. I'm not saying it's wrong to view someone's art like that, but I feel like it's, you know, stunning your growth if you feel like that's the only way of doing that. If you find your own way and make sure love for your art a lot more stronger, because you're just like, hey, I don't have to follow someone else's way of doing things to get the effect that I want. At the end of the day, you'll find a way that works for you, and it'll help you be more confident in your artwork. So again, I hope my steps inspire you to find a way that you can use your supplies the way you want to use it. I wouldn't say take my tutorial and just kind of do what I do, because the way I do something may not be the most logical way, but it's a way that I gave myself so I can actually follow along and just be comfortable with the way I draw. So yeah, so just take my tutorial and just kind of run with it. But if you guys really want to try the way I do it, let me know in the comment box below if you actually attempted the way I color, because I'm like so interested at the end of the day. If you guys do, you know, copy me. And don't worry, I do not get offended by it. I know a lot of people kind of do get offended if people copy the way they do things, but I honestly don't. So you're free to color the way I color. Just, you know, make it your own. Okay, so that's it for that side. So I'm going to cut off the camera and do the other side. Alrighty guys, so I finished my first shade. You can tell how tired I am. I'm so tired. So I'm going to put the second shade right here, because that's the darkest part, because this is under shave, whatever. I'll put that here. Bam. So now I'm going to go over my first shade with the second shade. I totally forgot to say what color this is. It's brown. That's how I'm like starting to get hot, guys. I'm gonna put my freaking fan on because it's starting to get really hot real fast. Okay, so just a little word of advice that, you know, I always hear a lot of people always say colored pencils make my hand hurt and all that stuff. Like I said in the beginning of this video, your hand only hurts when you have to put a lot of pressure down, and I only say put a lot of pressure down. Oh my gosh, I tell you I can't speak English right, but only put a lot of pressure down when you want something to be super dark, like the darker tones. But if you're just doing lighter tones, you don't need to press as hard. Honestly, it's such a enjoyable process that I'm just like, I wish people would use more often. I know we're at the generation of people that use marker, watercolor, and all that good stuff, and colored pencil. It's kind of pushed at the back burner, and they're just like, no, colored pencil hurts too much, we're not going to use it. But I wish colored pencil would come back more, because I miss seeing people just colored with colored pencil. Where's my other color? I'm totally missing my other color. Oh my word. I'm like over here hyperventilating. Oh, it's tan. So yeah guys, so now I'm gonna add the lightest shade to finish up the hair, but I am gonna add the first dark shade over it so I can get, you know, that blend. But for me, I actually press really hard with the lighter shade so it can be there popping, yes, because you don't want it to be like hidden. You want it to speak very loudly. And always kind of go over the dark shade with the lighter shade so it blends in with the darker shade so it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. If you kind of get what I'm saying. You guys are like, Narelle, that looks like a hot mess, but there's a thing called layering over that we all love and hate sometimes. Oof. Okay, and now we're gonna go back over the lighter shade with the first shade to get the little tone back in. Alrighty guys, I have now completed the hair. It took forever to actually layer this hair down, oh my word. But I am going to add some yellow or top of it to give it like a highlight. So with the eyes, I believe Sugar's eyes is brown. In this video, I could be freaking wrong, but I'm going to go ahead and get the eyes colored, and then everything else I would do it off camera because this video is already long enough. So I think his eyes are brown in this video. Again, I could be wrong, totally wrong. With my eyes, I just make a simple turn like this, and I color it in all in one color. Like so, and then I go over with a darker color and just give it another tone to it. And that is all she has written. So now I'm going to do the clothing off camera because I really don't want to spend too much more time on this because this video is long enough. So alrighty guys, that is it for my tutorial on how to color with colored pencils. I'm actually shook that I actually finished the drawing on camera. I actually tried to make it look as cool as possible. Like I said, I am not the best with backgrounds, so this is as cool the background's gonna get, but I really hope you guys got the effect that I wanted to give to you guys. Like I always say, coloring is not a hard thing. It's not something you should be scared of. It's just that you have to find your own niche of doing everything, and once you kind of got your own niche of doing things, it'll be a lot more easier for you guys. So, if you like this video, give it a like. Tell me what you think about it in the comment box below. And if you guys are going to try my method of coloring with colored pencils, let me know down below as well. You can't really see all the layers because my phone sucks when it comes to, like, light. But hopefully you can see it as well as I think you should see it. But yeah, so that's it for this video. I'm going to have to do some heavy editing because it literally is almost an hour long. So, by the
time you're seeing it, it's not going to be an hour long, but that's how long it took me to record this. So you guys are welcome. So I will see you guys in the next video. All right. Bye, guys.